Hello and welcome to the GCSE Science introductory video. Science is the study of structure and behaviour of the natural and physical world through observation and experimentation. It can be a challenging subject academically, but it can also use lots of practical based skills in order to develop knowledge. It can teach problem solving, data analysis, and use lots of math skills as well. Science is often separated into three main branches: biology, the study of living organisms; chemistry, the study of matter and its properties and how chemical reactions occur; and physics, using nature and properties of matter and energy. In Year 9, as part of their options process, students would have chosen whether to study separate or combined science for Year 10. For those students that have opted to do separate science, a decision will be made by their teachers in the science department at the end of Year 10 on whether the students will continue on the separate science pathway or move to the combined science pathway. Students need to be achieving a minimum of grade 5 in each of the sciences to continue on the separate pathway, but it will be class size dependent as well as to the number of spaces available on the separate course going into Year 11. Just to clarify, the course content for separate science, you study the three sciences separately, so you end up with a GCSE in biology, a GCSE in chemistry, and a GCSE in physics, and they are not dependent on each other at all. There are required practicals that are involved in each subject and will be assessed in the exams. And each subject has got 2 exams, so 6 in total, and each exam is 1 hour 45 minutes long and is worth 100 marks. And you can see the topics that are covered in each of those papers at the side of the screen. In the combined science pathway, again you still study biology and chemistry and physics, but you end up with 2 GCSE grades, and it's a combined total of all of those 3 subjects. Again, required practicals are required and will be assessed in the exam, and you also still sit 6 different exams, 2 in biology, 2 in chemistry and 2 in physics. But each exam is 1 hour and 15 minutes long and is worth 70 marks. And that is because there is less content to study on the combined science course. And again, you can see the different topics that are in each paper at the side of the screen. Regardless of whether you're on the separate or the combined science pathways, there are tiered entries in GCSE Science. And students can either sit a foundation level course, which has grades that go from 1 to 5, or a higher entry, which has got grades from 3 to 9. The final decision on which tier your child will be sitting will not be taken until March in Year 11. So there's plenty of time for students to prove themselves of the higher tier if they so wish. All our lessons take place on the main school site in a purpose-built science block, which allow us to have an area for writing and bookwork, and then an area for experimentation. We use textbooks, which the students also have access online, and I'll come on to that a little bit later. So this is the area in the classroom that we use for our bookwork. You can see it looks like a traditional classroom with a whiteboard at the front and then desks and seats in the rest of the classroom. And then the other half of our classrooms, we've got our experiment area where we do all our practical investigations and where we've got all the traditional science equipment like fume cupboards and gas taps, etc. Our material is delivered face-to-face through taught material and practical materials in the laboratory, and there's obviously a considerable level of independent learning that we expect our students to do at GCSE level. These will include online homeworks, which will be recall quizzes, possibly on Seneca or Caboodle, but also other platforms like GCSE Pods. We will also set exam-style questions to get the students used to answering these slightly longer type questions. And every lesson has recall practice and extended writing practice for each topic. There will be end-of-topic assessments throughout the year where students will be expected to revise and prepare for, And of course, there'll be past paper assessments as a whole year group. So the end of topic assessments will happen each term, and they will cover content covered in the previous couple of topics. And students will be expected to prepare for these using knowledge organisers, glossaries, class notes, online revision resources, etc. And then twice a year, there will be whole year group assessments, which will be GCSE past papers. And again, all of the revision the students will have done for the topic assessments will be useful, and they will be expected to prepare for these end of whole year group assessments. There are a series of required practicals set out in the specification for separate and combined. The students will be asked to carry out in the laboratory, and then in the exam they could be asked questions on them. So these can include writing a method, considering safety risks, drawing graphs, looking at variables, or carrying out calculations on some data. To support students, we have a number of online resources available. Caboodle is the online resource that runs alongside the textbooks that we will use in class. So students will be given a login for this from their class teacher, and they can use this then to access an online version of the textbooks, which will be useful for preparing for assessments and doing homeworks and things like that. The teacher may also use Seneca for homework or assessment preparation, and there are lots of other online useful resources like YouTube with free science lessons or Primrose Kitten, Physics Maths Tutor, BBC Bitesize, and a teacher may refer to all of these to help students prepare for assessments. There's also revision guides and workbooks available from CGP, and we have a small supply of these in school, but you can also get them online through online retailers like Amazon. There are revision cards available from CGP as well. We don't sell those through WisePay, but many students have found these to be useful and a really helpful resource for preparing for assessments. So I hope that's given you an overview of GCSE Science and has ironed out any queries you may have.